always, I have a new sunglasses on because of my room. Today is the 21st of September 2021, and I'm live in Lagos, Nigeria. There's some white stuff on my face. It is dusted powder and a face cream. The glasses I'm wearing here is by Sapphire, Oju by Sapphire. That's the name of the brand. Sapphire is a company of Wally Jana, the guy that makes the perfume, Sapphire scents, and brushes, and so many luxury items. But this glasses is by Sapphire, which is by Sapphire. I've had it now for about 2 years. It's really nice. Why do I wear sunglasses? You always ask that. You have in a room full of LED lights. Those lights really hurt my eyes. So let's do the show tonight, Kenny Talks Life. A little bit vibrant tonight. I just had my shower in the cream and the dusty powder. I put it all over my face. You see it right here in my eyebrows. So we're going to talk tonight about my son's DNA test. Not last night, it was Sunday. I haven't done anything since Sunday and Monday. Um, so 2 nights ago, I told you about the whole situation with Mr. Babs Ogunade, my son's father. You see, it's so funny because here I am sitting in this bed. I'm 57 years old now. Something that happened to me when I was 22, and I know what left with. I know what happened. But the man is 65 years old this December, and he's still avoiding me all these years, 35 years. It's not 34, it's 35. I got pregnant in May of 1986. Some interesting things happened yesterday. Well, first of all, my son is back, and when I say he's back, he has apologized to me, and he's getting to know what exactly happened. He's really, really funny. Remember, he's autistic. I'm 34 years old, almost 35, and when someone is autistic, to relate to them, for them to even understand what you're talking about, it can be very hard and frustrating. He said he has some mental health issues on Facebook Live to understand, because he does a lot of cosplay. Cosplay, all those people like to dress in superhero outfits and all that. They have conventions and all kinds of stuff. That's what he likes. Autistic people have something they're really, attached to. So he told his cosplay fans that he wouldn't be online in October simply because his mental health needs a little bit of rest and all that. He's been through a lot. Right now, I got to tell you that my son is very distraught. He's having anxiety because he was taken to a DNA test and was tricked. I would say it was tricked. I'll say he was lured. He told me a lot of things yesterday that shocked me. A lot of things happened yesterday. My son told me, Annie said that he has been talking to his father on the phone since April of 2020 during the pandemic last year. That's almost 18 months. He told me, as I told you on the last video, that his sisters in London, his sisters 23 and 28, told him that, they're his sisters and they're looking to their dad. So Mr. Babs actually has three children. My son is the oldest, a 28-year-old who's going to be 29, and a 23-year-old. They're both girls. They're not talking to their father because they said he has a very serious communication problem. We all know that. At the end of the day, the most important thing right now is that the children are introduced him to their father, and they've been talking on the phone since April 2020. So why did they meet now? Okay. Remember, in April of 2020, we were all locked down. One of the reasons why I didn't know that they had started talking was because my son was fighting me and he wasn't talking to me. It's very hard when an autistic person is keeping hours. You cannot force them to talk. So at the end of the day, after 18 months, he decided to go to America for other things and decided to meet my son. A conversation thread between them was sent to me by my son. He asked my son to meet him in Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton is a very, very rugged town. Ghetto, black people, war, shooting, all that drugs. But that's not a good area. My son went to Trenton Station to meet him. And I could see the conversation between them and the missed calls and everything. When they finally met, they got into the car, and my son was introduced to a man and a woman. The woman was the driver. He said, "This is my brother, my sister." My son was never told their names, nothing. The woman drove them to a medical center. When they got to the medical center, they told my son he's here for a DNA test. Well, that's a little bit strange. They lured him to New Jersey to get a DNA test. Okay, so hold on. Can you guys chat? I'm trying to see here. The chat is on, right? Okay, so anyway, when they got to the medical center, a normal person, what would a normal person do? A normal 34-year-old. Why are you taking some DNA? Did you tell my mom? What's it? Did you plan this? Why is my mom not involved? You know what I mean? But an autistic person does not. They took advantage of him without his mom's knowledge. The doctor swabbed his mouth, everything. They swabbed the father too, and the DNA test would be coming out. The next thing they do is they dropped him at the train station to go back to Philadelphia. And that's when you saw that photo that he posted. Finally met my dad after 34 years. Remember, my son wasn't talking to me. I was shocked. Instablog Nigeria posted it because they're stalking him there in his face. They now send the pictures to me and said, "Is this his father?" I said, "I don't know. It looks like him." But they're both wearing masks. They posted it. I commented. Remember my comment? I said, "I hope you guys had a DNA test." Not knowing that they were actually there having a DNA test. At the end of the day, because my son wasn't talking to me for over a year, I now decided to contact him. He got very upset and said, "Why did I post that picture?" Listen, I put something on the page, I posted it on my page. People had it on their page. Other brothers took it from my page. It's the story of my life. I lived it. So at the end of the day, my son now basically got upset with me. He was upset because his father called him when he had already come out in all the blood, and his father was yelling at him to take the picture down. You cannot yell you cannot yell at an autistic person. They get very agitated. The noise affects them. So he got very mad and pissed off and told his father off. He even called him a moron. It was really bad. So he came to express that frustration with me, telling me I'm the one that caused it, blah blah blah. I'm like, you lied that, you lied that is the audio on. Okay, can you guys hear now? Somebody can adjust the audio. You lied that you lied that he was not in my life. He kept me away from him. No, 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 no. I didn't keep you away from anybody. The dad was never in the picture. He never looked for us. He abandoned us, never paid us money, nothing. So I don't want to start arguing with that. That's why I told the story of my friend that he turned my child against me. Okay, so basically, where is that DNA test? It's been over a month. DNA test doesn't take a month. The audio is bad. What happened? Okay, I think because I have the Bluetooth. Hold on, guys. How's the audio now? Can you guys hear me now? I've said a lot of stuff and I need to do it again. Can you guys hear me now? Type. Let's know whether you hear me because I noticed some people left and nobody said anything about the audio. Okay, where was I? I said that my son was lured. Okay, he was lured to get a DNA test. When the boy posted the picture that me and my dad, after 34 years, the father was pissed off. The father said, "You should take the picture down." My son was really mad because he was yelled at and everything. He now called me and started yelling at me. Why did I post it on my page? That's my own story of my life. What was Mr. Babs Ogunade hiding? He doesn't want people to know he's the father of the child he abandoned for 35 years because he's an executive vice president of a sports league. This is how men are. At the end of the day, the boy started saying, "Oh, you kept him away from me and you kept me away from him and all that." He turned my son against me. I hope he didn't tell my son that I kept him away or blah, blah, blah. Remember, at that time, I did not know that they actually went for a DNA test.
Imagine, after the DNA test, they dropped my son off at the station and went back to Philadelphia. Mr. Babs Ogunade did not take my son to lunch somewhere. You call somebody to take a train from Philadelphia to New Jersey, Trenton, for that matter. You didn't even have a bonding thing like, oh, let's go to lunch. You know what I mean? Let's go to lunch. Let's do something. Let's meet the other two people that he called his brother and sister. They just took the test and dropped the boy at the station. They didn't give him anything. They didn't give him money, like pocket money, take something. Or they didn't give him any, transportation money. Okay, here's your train fare. That's what happens when you're autistic. You don't know. He's a high functioning. He drove there, wanted to meet the man. They took him to a place that he didn't know they were going. A regular 34-year-old would say, wait a minute. Okay, where are we going now? We're going to a medical center. For what? A test. Why doesn't my mom know about this? I can't take a test. I'm not doing this. They didn't give him the chance. They just knew that he has a mental disability, a developmental, a developmental disability. And then they used him and took advantage of him. So after he got the test, he was dropped at the station to go home. Mr. Ogunade continued to go to Nigeria. He arrived in Nigeria, didn't call my son, ignored my son. My son called me yesterday and said he has not spoken to his dad for over a month, August 14th. And that the test that we went to do, a DNA test, what's the result of the test? My son was talking about, oh, maybe I should go to the place again. You don't know the place. Autistic people remember a lot of things. He said he knows how to get to the place. They drove you there. Do you know how to get there in a cab? Don't waste your time going to Trenton. That place is dangerous as it is. You're going to go and get a DNA test when somebody else's name is on the test. They might not give it to him. It might be a waste of time. Who did they say was going to get the test? Who ordered the test? Obviously, his father. The sister and brother that took my son there with his father are probably the ones that organized the whole DNA test. So for 1 month, Mr. Babs Ogunade has not given my son the DNA results. My son has been very distraught. He's been very, very under a lot of anxiety. He's trying to reach his family members in Nigeria. So yesterday, I found a Fumi Ogunade online. I had investigated her, and I found out she's the last born of their family, of Babs Ogunade's family, a woman. I said, hello, Fumi, can you send me your number? I need to discuss some things with you about my son. This is a 48-year-old woman. Their brother is 64 years old. And I wanted to talk to her. She said, why? I said, I want to talk to you about my son. You don't know this person. She now said, oh, I can't give you my number because I don't know you. You don't know I had a son for your brother 35 years ago? Remember what his mother said to me? His mother said, it's not my son's baby. My son cannot impregnate somebody at 30 years old and deny it. His mother stood firm with him. And his mother died 2 years ago. So I said, you didn't know I had a son with your brother? Well, I wasn't in the picture then, so I can't get involved. You should deal with my brother. But your brother is not trying to talk to me in 35 years. Now he dragged my son to a DNA place. And he still won't talk to me about the results of the DNA. I said, your mother, okay, diminished me and said some horrible things to me. She was a wicked person. The girl now lashed out. This is Facebook Messenger and said, how dare you talk about my mother? I don't want to hear your whimpering. That's not what she said to me. She doesn't want to hear my whimpering. I guess this is what happened with sisters of men that become deadbeat dads. She started saying her mother, don't mention my mother in this conversation. Why not mention her? Your mother called me a slut. I left her 4 hot voicemails. Your mother called me a slut. Is that something you would like somebody to call your daughter? At the end of the day, their mother had already died. So she got very hot on there, and I left her 4 voicemails, and I didn't talk to her anymore. I contacted her in that same DM today and told her that I was sorry because I heard the mother is already dead and that your mother was very wicked and she did this and she did that. And you guys ought to know that your brother's oldest son is my son. All I need now is 50 million naira or $102,000 and 700 plus interest, which I haven't calculated. I want my back child support for 18 years, what I spent to take care of my child that had a special need. A special needs child must be taken care of for life by both parents and the state. They're doing something in the state. They're giving assistance, caseworkers, job search, everything. But my son is working 3 different jobs just to make a living. And his father is a billionaire in Nigerian standards, which is $1 million in dollars. He's getting some huge amount of money out of that MBFF. Now, what is so wrong in not giving me the DNA test? I have asked for it. Remember, there's only so many ways you can talk to somebody. If they block you on WhatsApp and they block you on the phone, you can't talk to them. I talked to him on Signal because he's on Signal, and my phone detected that he's on Signal. So I sent him a message in Signal telling him that we are sands in the hands of our Creator. All I want from you is nothing but my money. Because if that DNA test says you're the father, which I know it is, you need to disclose that to your son. You know? Babs doesn't have that kind of money, but he lives large. Big house, big car, big salary. Maybe you don't even know him. Don't talk about him not having that kind of money. I've been investigating him. I know exactly where he lives. I know what he drives. I know where he works. I know everything. All the millions and millions and millions of naira that he collects for the MBFF, for these games and all that, from Buhari, from the government, everything. Don't talk for him, okay? Whoever you are, this person that said he doesn't have that kind of money, are you related to him? Or are you Babs yourself in a fake account? Listen to me. I know where he banks. I know what his bank account. I know everything. I'm an investigative journalist. Investigating a family member is easier than investigating someone in a case. When I investigated Hush Puppy's family, his mother, everything about his mother, people were stunned when I did that podcast. At the end of the day, he still owes me child support. I don't care if he has that money. He will find it. He owes me child support and I want my money. What he needs to do is to contact me, since he has blocked me everywhere, to contact me and make payment arrangements plus interest on my money. I don't want anything to do with him other than that. His son is 34 going on 35. Okay, his son has a developmental disability. If he was a regular 34-year-old, you know that's not going to fly. At the end of the day, certain things are done in a certain way. You don't just travel to America, go and see a child and lure that child to have a DNA test without the mother's consent. Now, I cursed whoever introduced my son to Babs. I told them that God would deal with them mercilessly because I thought it was someone in my family. If my family member actually did that, they betrayed me in the largest proportion. So at the end of the day, I laid down a curse. Every curse I've laid down always happens. When I said 3 people were going to die in my case in Port Harcourt, 3 died. At the end of the day, that curse was very hot. Unfortunately, I laid the curse for Babs' daughters because it's the daughters that introduced their brother to their father. So all night last night, I was in a very huge prayer vigil, praying for those children, praying for those girls to revoke the curse. I have powers of mouth. Now, that being said, everybody's trying to find out where is the DNA test. Their family blog. I heard somebody's blogging about all this stuff. Where is the DNA test, Babs? You're the one that has the result. Babs has not released the DNA test. My son has called his father every single day this week. My son is messaging his father. His father is not responding to him. He hasn't blocked him, but he's not responding. I need that DNA test. Meanwhile, I already know the report of it. Okay, I set somebody up. Okay, Babs was telling somebody on the phone that he's the father of this boy and he looks exactly like me. He's actually Babs Jr. That's what he told the person over the phone. I have the conversation. You know, he doesn't want to pay because of his developmental issues. No, he has to pay regardless. It's his child. Okay, if you have a child and the child has a disability, it's your child. You have to pay. You know what I mean? He said the child is his child. He said the child it looks just like me. In fact, it's my junior. He has told somebody all this. The person has sent me the conversation. You know what I mean? Semitokwe said, you know, they embezzle money. I don't want to get into the politics of MBFF, please. I really don't. Okay, it's like talking about the NBA. All I want to do is I want to get my money from Babs. Okay, I don't care where that money comes from, but he owes me 35 years of pain. And all the pain I suffered, I can never, ever reverse it. They took away my middle son. Oyinlade was taken away at 8 years old when my autistic son bit him all over the arm. He went to live with his father. And to do visitation with them was almost a nightmare. We let everything go. 2003, 4, 5, 6. Basically, 2003, I have not seen Oyinlade for 18 years. I left a child at 12 years old. He's going to be 30. Babs changed my life, changed my family, destroyed my life, destroyed my livelihood, destroyed my family structure. And he destroyed his too. His father is a prince. He died. He's a prince. And now my son is the prince directly after him on that throne. One of them is going to be the king one day. I don't know. Payment arrangements is actually okay. The point is that he's trying to avoid it. Babs, if you're watching my video, you know my phone numbers on both phones. You've blocked them. Call me and let us talk about 35 years. I'm not going to put you through everything, okay? The amount of baby daddies I have is not my question. It's not my point here, all right? Listen to what I'm saying, okay? I don't want any bullshit questions. If you can't focus, focus, all right? I don't want any rhetoric. I don't like rhetoric. How many baby daddies do I have? 10,000. How many baby daddies does Toyin Lawani have? Or Ibinabo Faberesima? Why do they have so many baby daddies? A failure. I did not take care of the child either. Victor, let's remove you, okay? I don't want anybody insulting me on these videos, okay? I get paid for making these videos. They're monetized. This is my only income. I'm not on Instagram and Facebook anymore. I don't need any rhetoric, any bullshit. I'm using Twitter and I'm using this. I'm not working right now. Okay? I'm not posting anything right now. No news, nothing. Twitter, I tweeted a few things last week. That's it. I'm just enjoying my life. I'm on indefinite leave. It's not a medical leave, but indefinite. Okay? He needs to pay my money. Okay? He has bank accounts in America. He has bank accounts in Nigeria. He has children in London. You know, he did not pay for one business, one schooling, special needs school, special education school. I was working as a pharmacist at $90,000 a year, and I'm paying everything. Babies, everything for my son. His own children are in London, in school, graduating and things. He must pay me. Now, there are two ways to do this. I can either go to Philadelphia and get the court order out. That my son can do. My son sent him a message yesterday and sent a copy of the text to me. I need you to give my mother her back child support and help her. My mother has suffered from hand to mouth for 35 years. And Nigeria, she literally begs people to help her with her work and stuff. The 18 years of child support needs to be paid to my mom. And I also need to know the results of our DNA test. He's asking his father. Imagine this, a 64-year-old man. At the end of the day, like I said, somebody has already spoken to him. And he has spoken to that person when he came back from America and told that person that he's the father. He looks exactly like me. He's my junior, blah, blah, blah. That person has sent me the conversation. It's an audio. If I put that on the internet, you know what can happen. People are saying, oh, please, Kemi, Kemi. He's sending people to me. He doesn't know that I know he's sending people to me. You know? Kemi, Kemi, don't do this. It'll be like FCMB, this one, that one. You know FCMB, right? The MD of FCMB that had 2 children with one of the employees. Remember that one? All the pressure of social media, they had to remove him and put somebody there acting. When this thing gets really bad, everybody has asked me to be interviewed. All the newspapers, Punch, Vanguard, everybody, City People, everybody wants to interview me. But I've tried to not do interviews, but I've only been doing my own docu-series so that I can tell the story from my own mouth. So I can monetize it and I can get, you know what I mean? I can get money off these videos, telling my story. At the end of the day, a U.S. court ordered me $467 a month since 1987. Times 12 times 18, 102,700. Plus all the extras, interest and everything I paid myself. We're talking about $300,000 in child support. And $300,000 is $150 million. Okay? Why haven't I come out all these years? Why must I come out? For who? Why must I come out? Tell me a reason why I must come out all these years. You're an idiot for saying that. I was raising a child with autism. A child almost killed me, smashed my head against the wall. I've lost the hearing in my left ear. I can't even hear anything in my left ear. You're asking me, why did I not come out all these years? Do you know what trauma is? Don't ask me any stupid question. I will block you on this channel. That's not the point of tonight. The point is I've come out. I came out simply because of something Nengi wrote. 23 challenge. I decided to do my own. At 23, I had a 6-month-old baby, working at a pharmacy, 3 jobs, 3 degrees, for a man who has never, ever taken care of me. His name is Babatunde. He's a Lagos State government official. Next thing, all of you are listening, every Lagos State government official with Babatunde. I said I will reveal his full name on Father's Day. I did. Some people said it took me calling him out before he could come out and do something. Now we have the DNA test. He will not release it. I'm not asking him for him. It's his son that's asking. But he's already shared it with someone. He's already told somebody. And the person recorded the whole conversation. And the person gave me the conversation. Babs, if you're watching, okay? If you're watching, you need, okay? You need to contact me. All right? So please don't ask me any stupid question. Why haven't I come out all these years? Okay. It's just like Odumaki. Inka Odumaki owed me $950,000, my first month's salary, for doing the morning show, paper reviews, and for doing the social media platforms for the station. He went to the grave, died. And then I said, oh, he died and took my money with him. People are saying, why didn't I say it when he was alive? If I said it when he was alive, everybody would blacklist me. Not like I care. Please don't compare me to Tonto Felicity. I don't like that. This is not a Tonto case. Tonto got married. I didn't get married. Why didn't he come to the States to bond with his son only for him to leave him and go incommunicado after a DNA test? I don't understand that at all. Why did he go to America to see my son? He really didn't go see my son. He went to America with the basketball team, okay, to play a friendly match. Okay, he went to play a friendly match. You guys saw him. His team was wearing Sound Sultan t-shirts right around when Sound Sultan died. Okay, that's what, you know, they were all wearing. And at the time, I changed the filter. I didn't know that YouTube has filter. At the time, when they went to play the friendly match, the whole team went to Tokyo. They went to Japan. My son told me that too. I was here in my bed watching the whole thing. After Tokyo, where they lost just about every Olympic game, they now came back to America, and the team just went on their own. Babs decided to stay and maybe chill a little bit in America, and then called my son to meet him. Drove him to DNA testing center and drove him back to the station. No food, no lunch, no bonding, no pocket money, no transportation money. They just dropped him at the station and he went. Well, you used him to get your stuff. You used the Kalayai. Thank you so much. They don't know how much it takes to take a disabled child, to take care of a special needs child. You used them to get your DNA test. We have no problem with you doing that, but not that way. If it was a regular 34-year-old, you know what that boy is going to tell them. That boy will say, wait a minute, we're going to do what? Does my mother know about this? You know what I mean? Who is that person that says exercise a little bit more patient? Babs will contact you soon. Babs will contact me soon. Blocked all my numbers, Abby. When will he contact me? When I continue calling him out, or when I talk to City People, Global Excellence, Goldmine TV, and everybody calling me for interviews. I will sit down and do 20 interviews. But what will happen is once this thing hits the mainstream, all right, it doesn't become a libelous issue anymore, okay? Because there's a DNA test. There's a woman talking here. Now we have a child who's talking. My son is ready to talk to the Nigerian media. Do you know what that will cause? This is the part where some of his family members are in fear of. They're in fear of what can happen if my son decides to do an interview with the Nigerian media. Do you know what that's going to happen? It's going to affect him at the NBFF. The NBFF will remove him. And they'll put somebody there, acting vice chairman. This is going to end up like the FCMB case. I'm telling you, corporate Nigeria doesn't have time for these immoralities. This is somebody that's supposed to be like, you know what I mean? This is somebody, Jeannie Moore, please. Babs is a common name. Find out who your father is first. It's not blackmail. Dakolo City, let me remove you. You're no longer on my channel. This is not about blackmail, okay? That's it. I don't like anybody that come here making my situation worse. I have chest pains. I have anxiety. I have panic attacks. Because I've been telling the truth for 35 years. Now, what is happening now to me? Rita Adams, Nigerians who have never lived abroad will never understand what it takes to take care of a special needs child. What about in Nigeria, where it's even worse? I'm having chest pains, people. I can't talk right now. Let me just read what you're saying. I'm having chest pains, please. Temitope Oladele, I think you are getting really irritating, please. I deal with a lot every day, but you guys don't seem to understand. Some people come in here talking for Babs, if it's not Babs himself in a fake account. I don't have the time. The pain I went through was a lot. That person that's been talking it for him, saying he doesn't have that kind of me, all that stuff, he doesn't, NBFF won't remove him. You will see how they will remove him. Do you know why he broke up with his wife? Everything I've investigated. Do you know why Babs broke up with his wife? Why he has an ex-wife? It has to do with the MBFF. I won't talk now. I will not talk yet. It has to do with something in there. You'll figure out later. When I start talking to the mainstream media is going to hear some things that would affect his job big time. Ola, we don't know what the DNA result is, okay? At least the DNA came out positive. The problem is that we don't know it, we have not seen it. He's not giving it to my son. It's been 30 days, he's been quiet about it, but he has discussed it with somebody and a very good friend. That person recorded the conversation and passed it over to me. I heard him saying, "This is my son. I met him. He looks like me. He's my junior, blah, blah, blah." But yet he did not do anything for that boy over there. My son works 3 jobs. An autistic person cannot really keep one job for 2 reasons. There's no jobs in America. He's working 3 different jobs because he gets tired very easily. So they leave him at these 3 jobs where he'll do short shifts and go to the next job and the next day another job. So he struggles, but he's okay. He lives in a place that the state owns and they pay his rent. You have not done anything for this child. And you have not done anything for me, the mother that went through all this stuff for years. I can't say more. All I can say is that I cannot edit videos anymore. I'm very tired. And I decided to start streaming Kemi Talks Live. On tomorrow's show, I want to talk about how my sister assaulted me and bruised me all over my body. And this beating that happened was with her house girl, and she lost her job with Ajimobi's administration. A lot of you don't understand what I've been through. This is not about Babs. Kemi Talks Life is about my life. It's not about Babs